Welcome, Deviant Drivers, to Draft Day. We just wrapped up the promotion relegation race. That was that was exciting.
Yeah, no, it's definitely exciting. And obviously, as you guys can see, we have a start us off guest with Anatole for the first time in person. Excited to see, exciting to meet in person for the first time. Anatole, the floor is yours. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you, Junkai. It's been a long time. I've been in the league for 2 years, and this is the first time I've been on stream with you guys.
Yes, yes, we've invited you before, but like the time frame, what time is it there?
11:15, I think,
Yeah.
11:30. No, sorry, quarter to 12. I'm 12 hours behind, ahead or behind you, either way.
Yeah, I don't, that's what we've always joked about is like you should do better with racing because you're always like a half a day ahead of us.
Mm. For that head start, it hasn't really helped me very much, unfortunately.
Hey, you've come a long way, my friend. Like from where you started, to like, hey, don't get around me. I'm glitching to like really putting pressure on people and getting
Mm.
towards the front. Like it's been great to see you progress over the years and again, it's just a pleasure to have you today.
Thank
Yes,
you.
welcome.
Pleasure's mine as well. Thank you, Mercury, as well.
Yeah, you got in that last race of the season, you took third, was it not?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, podiumed on that. Excellent. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
So
like the Brett Favre. You just call him in off the bench and he just starts throwing Hail Marys and it's like, yeah, I'll take third place. It's fine.
Just in the day's work.
Yeah, all good, all good. What'd you think of the PR race?
Oh, it was very exciting. I thought that, well, first of all, congratulations to Larry and Is it well done and good luck in GTT Pro. And I thought that between the bottom three, it really could have been anybody's to take, just depending on who's having a good day or a bad day, for how close it was for a majority of the race.
did you see the launch Arcane got on that Ferrari? Like he came
Yeah,
out like third to first.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
he
mean
held it.
that's
He held that for a long time too.
He did.
he did. Yeah, I mean well, we all know the Ferrari's notorious for the launches. Like we've all talked about it. Like coming off the line, it's worth about 2 to 3 positions alone, depending on how long that straight is.
Mm.
Yeah,
So
and he ended up, it looks like on the last lap, I think he must have taken fastest lap because Larry held fastest lap for the longest time, but Arcane finally took fastest lap with 1:40.003.
Mm.
So beating out Larry's fastest time by what, 400ths of a second?
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, let's talk about it real quick. So qualifying had us with Izzy in first place in qualifying, leading by 6 thousandths over Larry in second, Dirksey in third, Arcane in fourth, and Deeds in fifth. And then you flip it over to the finishing order. Larry finishes 13 seconds ahead of Izzy. Izzy 1.6 seconds ahead of Dirksey. Dirksey about 6+ above Arcane, and then Deeds had a rough day with 21 seconds towards the back. So that puts
Mm.
Larry and Izzy in group three. What are our thoughts on that?
Well, that lead that he won the race with, I spent the season when I was substituting suffering from that lead. So Mercury, the pleasure is yours now. Enjoy.
Right?
Yeah, he definitely Larry put on a dominating performance. It was virtually flawless. I didn't see any mistakes that he made. Had his pit strategy worked out perfect. And I mean, it was consistent. And like I said, he ran behind Arcane there for a little bit, couple 3 or 4 laps or whatever, however many it took. And then once he got out front, that was it. So
Mm.
he's going to be a formidable competitor in GTD Pro for
Mm.
sure.
Yeah, he was quite patient waiting to take that lead too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
patience plays off.
Mm.
No, it definitely does. And I mean, it just it goes to what Larry accomplished last season with second place in group four. Um, he dominated there, you know what I mean? Besides Rue being out front and getting in. So I'm excited for Larry to be kind of the new blood getting into group three. That
Mm.
moves Dirksey back down into group four. Dirksey's been there
Mm.
before, took third
Yeah.
place in group four last time. Now we've got Arcane remaining in group four. Deeds going back to group four, which will be
Mm.
interesting because he took first place in group four last time he was
Mm.
there. So it really just this promotion relegation thing is so fun and interesting seeing people move up, move down. And I hate the fact that it was somewhat of a creation of Dirksey, and he's been living through the promotion relegation more so than almost anybody, except for Berman, I would suspect.
Yeah, he has. Yeah. Yeah, so it will be interesting to see, especially with draft picks, where captains decide to go in regard to who is actually in GTD Pro and GTD this year, which they did not know for sure where anybody was going to end up until just the last 10 minutes. So captains are probably making some last minute scribbles and trying to determine who they're going to pick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think the outcome of that race may have affected the draft order some of the captains had as well.
So I mean, yeah, let's jump right into it then. So, we did prep Anatole to kind of bring his noggin with us. He's great with the analytics and the drivers, and I've had the pleasure of being Anatole's team, Mercury as well, and he's always brought that analytical mindset to the league and the team aspect of what the car can do and everything like that. So we did prep him to bring his leaderboard of what he thought people would come off the board. So during the race, we were talking, and he said, Larry coming out with such a lead kind of puts you at a question of like, again, where do you put him now? Do you move him up? Do you keep him where you were? So Anatole, hit us with where you think the drivers will land today.
Well, first, thank you for the introduction.
Yeah.
I feel honored that you praised me so highly for my analytic skills, but every draft up to now, those skills have failed me miserably. And everything I predict has gone horribly wrong, and I expect that'll happen today as well. But I do think that because the race was held in GT3 cars, and the captains for next season got to see these potential new members to GTD Pro, being able to see them in the group 3 may have affected where they would pick some people. The fact that Larry won so handily in a group 3 car, I think is going to move him towards the top of the pick list.
I agree. I think that definitely changes the dynamic. I mean, it looked like he'd been driving GT3 for the whole time. So yeah, I do think that also is going to contribute into changing up what their initial order might have been.
Makes me feel better that he's on our Lemons team as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Not to get too selfish or anything and bypass everything we're doing here. Yeah, it makes me feel pretty good. So Anatole, so where did you have everyone stacked? Hit us with it.
I tried to make a practical list of where I thought the captains would choose, not what I thought the best picks were.
Yeah.
Because every draft up to now, I looked at what I thought would be maximized points. So I was always prioritizing group 4, and the captains always seemed to prioritize group 3, which left my picks in shambles.
Great.
I stuck with that. I put Don't Need Time, Izzy, and Camzilla at the top, but now I would move Larry to the top of that as well. And Rue was the question mark because he did so well in group 4, but we haven't seen him in group 3. He wasn't in this qualification race. So I'm not sure, like, even though he finished ahead of Larry, I don't think he will be taken ahead of Larry because we haven't seen him in a group 3 car.
Excellent point. Yes, that is. He's done very well. He basically dominated the season in GT4. But yes, we've only seen Larry compete now in a GT3 car. So yeah, that does change dynamics quite a bit.
Yeah. So apart from the head of the field, it gets a little bit fuzzy for me. I think that the group 3, all the racers are very close. It's a very close field. And so I think once the top drivers are taken, that the captains may fall upon the drivers they have the best relationship with. They feel they can work in a team with better. And because, I mean, the skill gap is so small. In group 4, there really is like, there's the top of group 4 who could easily be in group 3. And then past that, there's the midfield. And so I think if we're talking about the top of group 4, it's going to be Dirksey, who's dominated in group 4 before. He's finished at the top of group 3 before. Don't sleep on Dirksey. That would be a big mistake. And then we're looking at Arcane, who did wonderfully last season, was great in this race. I think those would be two of the drivers. And also Texas Speedstars.
Tex is out.
Oh, he is. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Tex is out.
Hmm.
So we will
Another
run
pick.
through the draft order that we're going to be that the drivers will be going in.
So draft your order for captains is we got Floody on the clock, followed by Chaotica. Como Copa goes third, Zanchin fourth, Glovis in fifth, Zen in sixth. This is a repeat of last season for him. And Nismo is in seventh place since he won overall. So, but they are currently on the clock, so we were waiting that first pick. And so here's the thing, Anatol. We're going to prove you completely right in everything you said, in the fact that you don't know how they're drafting.
I will proudly wear the medal of that.
Floody picked a car first.
Ah,
We know.
Yeah.
Do we know what car that he's intending on picking?
I mean, we all have guesses and whatnot. I mean, Anatol, what do you think? Do you pick a car first?
Yeah. In an ideal world, we would see Floody in the Viper, but I don't think he's going to first pick that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he is.
Yeah, I think
he
it's.
absolutely
I don't
is.
know. It's. I would not pick a car here. The car bank is the biggest we've ever had in multiple seasons. So
Right.
There's not a huge drop off. I think you can get a great car late. I'm very interested to see where he goes with that.
But because you and I agree on that, that means, of course, that's the exact opposite of what the captains will do in this draft.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah, precisely. I probably would have picked up Dirksey or Arcane personally because those Group 4 points mean so much. You can't capture those late. So.
Yeah, I'm of the same mind. But again, I've always predicted the drafts based on that and never come close to being correct. So.
and here we are again. It's all you and I are on the same page. So I do think probably he might push for the Viper just because we've given him so much crap about talking about it. I think he might feel obligated that he has no choice, and this kind of solidifies that. But we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. The next pick is Chaotica, so he is on the clock right now.
Yeah,
deciding what he's going to do.
Yeah, Anatol, who do you think comes up first?
Oh, Chaotic, I wasn't sure. I contacted a couple of the captains. I'm not going to say the picks they gave me, but I wasn't able to get a hold of Chaotica. So I don't know. Maybe Larry. Larry would be a very smart pick, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think if Chaotica picks a car, we end the stream right now.
Right.
We just go do something else. Yeah. Yeah. Essentially Chaotica now has first pick essentially because I just don't think the car matters as much. So
yeah.
Sorry,
well, while
Floody.
we wait, let's go ahead and make a reveal for everybody in safety car next season.
Well, no. We don't have time for that, Merc. We don't have time for that. Bad Rock is thanking me right now behind the scenes. Holy shit.
There it is. He picks car.
Chaotica picks car. I don't know why we do this. We really shouldn't be sitting here talking about anything whatsoever.
Because it's entertaining to embarrass ourselves on
Exactly.
tape. It'll be there forever and ever.
I didn't see any of that coming at all. But whatever. Next one is Coma.
Coma Copa pick car.
Coma Copa probably doesn't know what the hell's going on because I was trying to give him advice of like kind of where to go with it. And now that all these cars are off the board, he's probably like, what is going on? He's probably going to stress pick a car because he's seeing all these top 2 cars come off the board. I just don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They got him questioning his strategy. They got him questioning what his choices in life. So he's
no, for sure. For sure. Oh man. Well, Anatol, it's a pleasure having you on today. We do thank you. We're going to ride this out to see what Coma's pick is. Once we get off of that one, we appreciate you hopping on here. We know it's late where you are. But again, like we've said, this is the first time in person. It's been a pleasure to really have you a part of the league. We hate to see you had to back out for a little bit due to your wrist and everything, but we love the fact that you've stayed a part of the Discord. I mean, hopping on today to be with us. I mean, again, you're value to us, and I hope you know that.
Thank you. Likewise, you guys you've been here for me for 2 years, and it's been a pleasure to be part of the league.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate
all
it.
right.
Okay.
We'll see you. We'll see you on the track. You're going to be reserve
Well, no,
driving.
hold on before you sign off, Anatol.
Mm.
The first pick of a driver
Mm.
is, I got to type right, is Rue. Rue
Uh,
comes off the board
Interesting.
for
Okay.
GTD Pro.
Mm.
So come up pick
Well,
Drew.
yeah.
Yep. All right.
That's a solid pick.
He was solid
Yeah.
last season. They
Mm.
know each other, so we'll see how it goes. But Anatol, thank you very much, sir. It was a pleasure as always. We'll realign and we'll get you on the podcast so we can have a longer conversation. I think this is really a good spark for us to kind of make sure we can line that up. So you let us know when, and we'll make it happen.
Okay.
Take care, sir.
Take
Yeah.
care.
See ya.
Heck yeah. Awesome having Anatol on, man. That's
yeah,
awesome.
that was great. That was great.
Yeah. So you were doing your mod things, right? Me and Bad Rock were working through the schedule, and then you try to come in and let's do this now. Let's do this. And I know
Anatol, you got to drop.
So anyway, regardless, it was good to have him on here, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that was really good. That was really good. So far we've been pretty much wrong on everything that we said about the picks.
Yeah, dude. Like I don't get it. I really don't get it. Because now we have the fourth pick, and that is Berman going car. And the interesting thing to all this is going car, like the way we have the rules written for this one is they don't have to specify which car they're picking. So the car slot really could go for GTD Pro or it could go for GTD. And maybe that's like the old mindset that I'm in is maybe it is smart that you throw a great car into GTD instead of having it in GTD Pro. Maybe that's where I'm going wrong with that car pick. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I tend to agree with you. I think last season the car pick was instrumental, given the bank that you really need to pick a good car. But this season, with everything opening up, it seems like there's so many options that are good options that you can take this one, take that one. They're very similar, and it doesn't seem like as much of an advantage to me. But evidently, they feel differently from us. So
well, here's the thing. I'm not in the league. You were in the bottom of the league. You know what I mean? So, it's we don't know.
we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, not at all. But it could be because here's the thing. I mean, you throw a top of the line car into GTD with a solid driver, like those are good points. And maybe the GTD Pro guys can really adapt to some of the lesser down the line. So
I do make a prediction that of all the people that do pick cars, I believe Glovis is going to make his first pick car as pick 4?
Yeah, it'll be pick 4 if Glovis goes car.
I believe he goes car. He wants the Corvette again.
You think so?
Absolutely.
No, dude. Love it. He went dollars per win.
Dollars per win. All right.
Heck yeah. That is awesome. Now, and that's a great pick for the GTD class because he won in GT Sport, really kind of flew under the radar. He was in the Lamborghini, not taking anything from him. He was on the controller. The only reason I know that because he was flashing his lights going into every turn as he's squishing his controller. So that's going to be a huge player for the GTD class because guys have not seen what he can do yet.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. So right now we got Zen on the clock. He's making his decision. Hard to determine where he's gonna go. I doubt he's gonna pick car. He's gonna be pretty flexible with whatever car that they choose and the card bank given. So he's gonna pick a driver. I'm pretty sure.
Zen doesn't pick a car. 99%. I can't say 100% because I've been wrong already twice today. 99%. He does not go car. Oh, Zen, don't go car, man. Don't go car. I mean, honestly, for me, I would pick up either one of the GT Sport guys. Arcane, Dirksey are top for me right now on how that looks. That's kind of where I sit with all that.
Well, Dirksey finished third in a promotion relegation race, so that puts him,
Ooh,
right at the top there. So, oh, do we have another
ooh.
pick?
So pick is in. Are you
Okay.
ready for this?
Yep, I'm ready.
For the first time, and it came with a disclaimer. This person was chosen because they were sexually motivated by this driver.
Oh.
Zen chose you, Mercury. Oh, dude.
Thank you, Zen.
So how do you feel? I think what Zen is thinking here is you finished pretty low this past season, right? You've run out of fuel a couple times. These new drivers are like, man, he's not consistent. Here's the thing is Zen has seen what you can do. Zen has seen all of that, and he probably thinks with a good strategy and putting you in the right car, like you guys will probably dominate. He's going for that Nismo Zen finishing order that he had last season. So
Yeah,
God,
putting together the strategy. Zen, I think, of all the captains, probably has the most intricate and well laid out
yeah,
strategy that I've seen personally. And so, yes, the strategy and putting together strategy is no easy thing if you've never done one. That takes a significant amount of time. I did not dedicate enough time to strategies at all this season. I one race or maybe two of them, I didn't even have one. I literally just wrote some things down on a piece of notebook paper before I started.
yeah.
So yes,
It's
I'm excited about it because I'm also excited to see the inner workings of Zen's strategy because although I
yeah,
may
for
not
sure.
understand it when it's all over, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely. It'll be cool to see, but at the same time, like that'll be good for you to get on a team like that with Zen, uh, with that strategy. So that's good. Nismo just had his selection that puts us at the top of the order. Nismo chose a car for his first pick, and that's the fourth car off the board. Again, dumbfounded by the cars dropping off so quickly. I'd be scooping up drivers like crazy as quick as I could right now. But that's me, not them. We'll see where we go. So right now we flip it back around. It comes back to Floody. Obviously, Floody has one car. Does he go two cars in a row? If he does, I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, it's back on Floody now. Now I think Floody has to take. He's going to take a driver here. The question is he going to go GTD Pro or GTD?
I
Because
think you go pro, man. I think you go pro here.
yeah,
No pro. I agree with you. I think GTD.
yeah, GTD I think is where it is. There's several good drivers on the availability there that are top drivers. So I think he goes GTD and go ahead and try to lock that in. But we've been wrong 80% of the time. So
Yeah, pretty much. It happens often.
happens a lot.
It does happen often. It does happen a lot. And, again, here we are, not in this league. Well, you are. I'm not. We'll see how that goes. So, yeah, I think right now for me, I think GTD is the way to go. I think there's more points available in GTD with those guys. We've got one driver that's in right now for GTD. Um, it's that's where I would go with this. So because like Anatole said, the GT, I'm getting trying to get used to these classes since we went from 3 to 4. Now we're pro and GTD, but I think the pro drivers are so close. And as I say that, I'm proven wrong again. And Floody goes with Camzilla as his pro driver.
Okay.
So
So another
that's
GTD Pro driver.
so I think honestly at this point they're going to start dropping off quick because they're already coming off the board. And if you had a top pick in pro that you wanted, you kind of scoop them up now because you won't have another chance. So you kind of just got to follow the draft, if you will. You know,
Yeah.
Chaotica. I don't know. I don't even want to make recommendations anymore because I'm just all over the place and I have nothing to gain at all.
I think the predominant number of picks have been to GTD Pro drivers and cars. I think Chaotica is going to change it up right here and go GTD driver so that he can get his selection of GTD top slots. I think that's the call there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we keep saying it, but you know, who knows? Who
We'll
knows at
get
this
it
point?
right eventually.
Right, exactly. So, you know what? I'm sitting tired of being wrong all the time. I feel like we should have someone else take the same abuse. So, for our next guest, yes, we're bringing on new guests. We are going to bring on somebody who's been in GT4, he's been in GT3, has won GT4, and I'm going to announce our next guest as Preston. Preston's going to join us here in a moment once he kind of gets everything locked and loaded, because I'm tired of taking all the lashings of being wrong. It's not working for me. And and now we have Preston.
Oh,
Preston,
going
I
on?
need help, brother. I can't figure out who's picking what, why, where, and when.
It's incredible, isn't it? I didn't think so many cars would go in the first round. I think the only thing that I got right was that Rue went in first round so far.
You're doing better than us, I'll tell you that, because I had nothing that's on the board right now did I have going off in my bingo card at all.
No, not at all. And I mean, the guys going and scrambling for cars was not thought about. We thought that was going to be the last thing they were going to go for. So we've been completely wrong. Who's on the clock right now? Is it
Chaotica?
Chaotica. Okay, so he is still contemplating his life choices.
Well,
Yeah.
after last season, seeing the Lamborghini dominate both leagues, you got to be thinking that some of these captains are leaning to the idea that there is an overpowered car out there, that there is a car that's just going to destroy the rest of them. And if you can find that piece of gold, you can get any driver in the car and hopefully win out a season, right?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely possible. I don't know and here's the thing is maybe some of these guys have already started testing some of the cars that, like you're saying, they already know that. I personally haven't been able to test the cars in abundance since the new update. I was just in the same car, that brick that I was driving around. So that's the only experience that I have with it. So maybe you're right. Maybe there is a couple of those top-notch cars, maybe top 3, and then it falls off. Chaotica pulling a car for his first pick really kind of points to that. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe like you're right. There's something going on we don't know about.
The downside to that is that can change on a update at any point. I'm guessing we're wrong again. Yeah. Is there something in?
Oh, did another pick come in?
Yeah. Chaotica picked a car. I think he's watching this and is, instead of working at his team, he'd rather screw with our minds. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna stop talking. You guys figure this one out.
A lot on the table in GTD right now.
A lot.
Yeah. There's only been how many? One GTD driver.
One GTD driver drafted yet.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That's insane. Insane. I was
And our first GTD, I want to say our first GTD driver that went actually comes from the Group 3 reserve list, correct?
Yeah, he came out of GT Sport. Yep. All right. Our next pick is in. Komakopa goes with, maybe not. It was deleted. As I was typing, it was quickly deleted.
A quick second guess.
So waiting for it. So what do you think? Do you think car? Do you think, because Coma doesn't have a car yet, he's seeing all these cars pop off. He's a captain, his first captain. So does he kind of, again, stress pick and pick a car, or does he go driver?
I think he'll go car this round.
Driver.
Car.
You vote car?
Yep.
Okay. So if we all pick something different, one of us will be right. It's like the test when you don't know any of the questions, answers. You just pick C. Eventually, you're bound to get a couple of them right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're down to a 50-50 right now because you can either choose just a GTD driver or the car, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
So Como's on the clock. Okay, so he is.
Preston, what did you think of the PR race?
I thought the PR race was great. I forgot about the horse being slow off the line, so seeing Arcane take off like that, it was a big like oh moment. Like there he goes. Now all he has to do is defend that lead. It gave me flashbacks back to the Mustang season, running away from Cam and his Shy Rocco.
All right, Coma's got his stuff up. Coma went with a GTD driver with Bongit. So Bongit, and who is also off the reserve list.
Wow.
We haven't had one recurring driver from GR4 drafted yet for GTD.
So do you think that these captains are seeing these Group 3 reserve drivers with the qualifying time to be a Group 3 reserve driver and take that skill and use it in the GTD series now to hopefully get them up into the promotion race?
Probably so, yeah. Yeah, because, if you think about it, I mean, where they're landed with their quality time, though, really was not far off of meeting the cut for GT4 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing that exactly like you're saying is, I almost think like they're taking a risk because they've already seen what some of the drivers are able to do. It's like they are trying to do that, is just base it off the quality time specifically. And quality times are good, but I mean, not to pick on Merck, but he's talked about it before. He doesn't do great with qualification for a race, but in times where he doesn't run out of fuel, he ends up towards the top 5 almost every race, because qualifying and racing are two different things. Qualifying does get you towards the front, but you got to be able to race around a pack. And if you can't do that, you don't know. So it is a gamble to see what these guys can do. GT Sport was kind of light last season, so dollars per win, as he did well, there wasn't a large group of cars to get around. So we'll see.
Had a good practice race with dollars per win. That's astonishing, right? That's what he goes by in Gran Turismo, I believe.
It does. Yep.
Yeah, had a really good race with him practicing for Le Mans at the end of last season.
Oh,
he's a great driver, very clean.
Yeah,
nice,
awesome. Yeah, he did great in the Lambo. He definitely did. So who do you think comes off next? We're waiting on Berman Zanchin. This is his first time. I'm sure he's excited to not be in the relegation race. He's defended it twice, so he has the right to be a captain.
I think Berman's going to dip into that GTD pool, start scooping up some of those established drivers that we know, and trying to control the points down in that league.
So we brought you on as a guest, so maybe that you had a little insight into what was going to happen next, because Anatole didn't, I don't, Merck doesn't. You, my friend, are wrong again. Berman went car. So we've got Chaotica and Berman getting their first car at pick 2 and 3. Chaotica and Berman with the 5th and 6th car pick. No drivers. They're going to have some great cars, but no one to put in the seat whatsoever.
Well, you say that, but there is still a massive GTD bank of great drivers out there. So their chances are pretty good, actually, of picking up a good driver. If some of the other captains continue this trend of picking cars first, by the time it gets back around to them, they've got a pretty good bank to choose from.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I wouldn't have thought it would end it up this way, but
yeah.
What do we know?
All right, so Glovis's pick is in. He goes Arcane, which is a cool little delay. I mean, again, looking on last season's finishing, dollars per win, and Arcane finishing 3rd, Larry and Rue out of the picture. Glovis and Arcane know each other very well. This is looking up to be a solid little team here.
Yeah,
and Glovis has no
Arcane. That was the first pick of the recurring GTD drivers from GT4. So that was the first one there.
So Zen is up next. Zen does not have a car pick. I don't know if he does one.
I think
still
Zen
say
goes
no.
with driver. He'll go with
Yeah.
driver, I believe. Like you said, Zen can figure out a car. He's raced a lot of different cars, done well in them. So I don't think he's worried about a car being.
Yep, and we are correct in that. Zen does take Dirksey off the board.
Okay.
Dirksey, he's been with us for quite a while. Dirksey started with us. I got it right here. December 2022. I drafted him out of a public lobby. He's finished in third in GT3. He's finished in third in GT4. Again, he was in third today. He knows what he's doing. I think this is a solid pick.
I think Dirksey's going to be strong in GTD next season. And the only reason he fell into that relegation race was just happenstance on attendance. The fact that he couldn't get to some of the races. Otherwise, he definitely would have stayed within, I believe, and I think I would have been the one in the relegation race.
It would have been close because I was right around there with you. I don't remember where the points ended up there, but yeah, I agree with you. I think Dirksey would have definitely been out of promotion relegation if he had just not missed it. It was at least two, I think, maybe even three.
Yeah,
but
he missed a few. He did.
Yeah,
and I think that's how Texas ended up in the relegation race last season as well. Was just missing a couple of races. That attendance sometimes can really come into bite with those zeros on the board.
Yeah, everybody gets a free one, but the second one hurts.
All right, next pick is in. Our see you next Tuesday driver has been picked by Nismo. So Larry goes to Team Nismo. Nismo first place last season. Larry coming out of GT4, coming into GT3, just put on display what he can do. What do you guys think? This is
Larry and Nismo. That's I think it's gonna be a strong combo. Those are both very strong drivers.
Yep, I think that's a solid pick. Especially looking at the performance today, Larry did. Like I say, it was a virtually flawless performance. He was consistent the entire time. Held fastest lap right up until the end when Arcane took it from him, but only by tenths of seconds. So I think that's a solid pick. I think he's onto something there.
Yeah, and this is for Larry's first season with us. It'll be interesting. He joined us in July, and so he doesn't have a ton of seat time, but again, he's clearly very vocal in the Discord, as we've seen.
Has definitely established himself in the community.
Yeah, yes. No, definitely for sure. He has done so. So it'll be interesting. But again, GTD Pro is a whole another ball game when it comes to that. So, all right, Floody has his pick in already, and we are going with a recently relegated driver, both of which has been on my team and Merck's team. Floody picks T. Deeds.
All right. I think it's another very good pick.
Yeah, Deeds won GT4 2 seasons ago, right? Comes into GT3, struggles, also had some scheduling situations going on there as well, but very strong driver.
And that's another driver getting picked from the promotion relegation race today. So that race really displaying the skills of the drivers and helping them get picked up in these earlier rounds.
Yeah. And again, that's one of the benefits of being in the league for a while is, Zen picking Merck up where, when you look at the leaderboard, which is what sometimes people reference as drafting, is that's not always the case. That's not always the best indicator of what a driver can do, and being attentive to that kind of really can help. Now, all of this is conjecture because clearly we've been right about everything today. So we're just pulling stuff out of our butts.
I'm willing to bet that the next pick, Chaotica, is on the clock. I believe Chaotica is going to pick a driver.
You know what? I'll back you up on that.
Well, if he picks a third car, I think we're all screwed.
Chaotica is in our mainframe right now, moving rules around because he's got access to them.
That sounds like the czar we know and love.
Right. All right. So Chaotica does pick a driver. Bravo, Chaotica. And he picks up Mr. Larry's neighbor, Jim.
Jim.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, the start of a car, Jimmy.
Jim finished in the top 5 of last season, right? With Group 4.
So he won the last race in GT Sport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he won the last race in GT Sport. As far as where he landed last season was, let me look that up real quick. He was in 6th place. So, I mean, and he came in missing 2 races coming into GT4 last season. He's got 2 third place finishes and a 2nd place finish, and he took 1st place in GT Sport at the last race. So, yeah, something's going on in Florida, man. We got to figure that out.
Yeah, that's a good pick there. We are now Berman's on the clock. Berman, again, I'm going to predict is going to take a driver.
Okay.
Merc, you're getting so much better at this.
I feel like this is going to be correct. He's going to pick a driver. I just,
Well, GTD or GTD Pro?
Oh, well, I think I'm still sticking that there is still a lot of GTD drivers out there that I think is the time to start grabbing them, especially when you got your cars locked in,
So pro drivers that are left right now don't need time. Preston, you're still available. We got Boop Boop still available for the pro side. GTD drivers, we got Sully. Jim just came off the board, but we got Saito, Lalo, Thrasher, Kuraskai, Parzival, Huge Jar, Osman. Like that, there's a lot of drivers left. There's a
For the
lot
captains with the 2 GTD spots left, they may be looking at a Saito Sully Wombo combo. I hear that is quite the effect to have on a team.
So, Coma just goes for his first car.
Okay.
Okay.
But did we skip Berman altogether? We did skip Berman altogether.
And what pick overall for car is that for Coma?
That would be 7th pick. 7th pick overall.
Okay.
So okay. I thought, oh yeah. So Coma does pick car. Berman is up next.
Yeah, so Berman's on the clock right now. Berman has filled his car list, so he's going to be picking a driver. Where do we think he's going to go? Do we think he's going to go GTD or GTD Pro?
Does he have any drivers as of yet? No, he doesn't. He's running round 3.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything. Honestly, I mean, not to stroke your beard or anything, Preston, but I think at this point, I would probably snatch you up just because there's not a lot of drivers left.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a specific driver you want, now's the time to pick them up because they're not going to be around going into next round. I really don't think so. He already pushed the cars. So, and I think Zanchin, the last few seasons, he's been against the 8 ball when it's come to the cars that he's been involved with. So I think he's still like, screw this. I'm getting in a car that I want regardless.
He did the Audi season, right? With Bad Rock?
Yeah, he did the Audi season and the Ferrari season before the update where it stabilized it. So for 2 seasons, he was spinning all over the place. And then you put him in a good car, like this past season, and then next thing you know, he's rocking and rolling, I mean, he took 4th overall in what car were they? He was in the vet. So,
and he does take a driver as we expected. Looks like he picks Thrasher.
It hasn't been publicly announced yet.
Ooh.
Now it's
spoilers.
Now it's announced.
Merc's looking at the actual thread that is not supposed to be the official thread. Thanks, Merc. Go ahead. Who does Berman announce?
He takes Thrasher. So his first pick is Thrasher, which is GTD driver. Thrasher's been with us since the beginning. The original recruit that we recruited to the league has raced basically every single race in that we've done. I don't think he's missed any. If he's missed one or two, that's it. I can't think of what they are.
He came on board with us in May of 2022. And like you said, he's been in every single one. So when it comes to loyalty is royalty, Thrasher's your man. But it'll be good to see them on the same team. Also, in conjunction with that, sometimes what hurts with team strategizing is your time zones, and Thrasher and Berman are pretty close time zones to one another. I think there's only an hour difference as opposed to 3 hours with Berman to the East Coast. So that does help in some cases.
It probably is something that Berman's thinking about when he's going to choose a teammate.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so the next pick is in. Glovis chooses the 8th spot of car.
So that's Glovis's first car pick, right?
That is his first car pick. Yep.
So Zen is now on the clock. And Zen only has one more slot for a driver and 2 slots for cars. So I think I think he's going to continue on with selecting. He's going to go ahead and round out his driver roster right here. And that could be a number of drivers because he's got 1 slot for GTD, which is open. So,
well, because Merck said driver, I'm going to say that Zen's going to go for a car slot finally and try and get up a good manufacturer.
Yeah, I think he may swing for a car right here. I do believe the same thing. That
You also like to be wrong then?
Well, I don't prefer it. Merck has known me long enough to know that I don't prefer to be wrong. I can admit my faults. And hey, guess what? For the first time in all of these picks, we were actually correct. Zen does choose the 9th spot for car. So
okay,
good stuff. Good stuff. Well, Preston.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you being on, my friend.
Thank you.
We do anticipate you coming off the board fairly quick here. I think everyone's scrambling because of that whole car situation, that everything's just been jumbled around, and it being 3 GTD Pro drivers left. They want to pick their cars. So we wish you the best of luck. We appreciate you coming on. We also thank you for all the work you do with beer carts and just, I've told you this 100 times, the stupid videos. I love them.
I'm glad you enjoy them, and I'm glad you guys enjoy beer carts.
Yeah, no, it's been stellar, man. So we appreciate you as always. Keep up the good work. We wish you the best for next season.
Thank you.
We'll get you back on soon, man. Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later.
All right,
see you later. Thanks, Preston.
All right. Good old Preston knocking us out of the park. Yeah, he should come off the board fairly soon. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm surprised he's still on there, to be honest.
I agreed. I really do agree. Like, he's very consistent. He practices, he's involved with the strategies. Like and sometimes that's kind of the hard part of, it's not just the ability of what you can do on the track. It's can you stick to the strategy? He, from the last podcast, he has a little pit captain, and Danny helping him out with, his strategies and keeping him on task and things like that. So you're kind of drafting 2 people when you draft Preston.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. He's the only one of us with a crew chief.
Exactly. So Nismo comes off the board, grabbing another driver, and he picks new moderator, our friend Sully.
Solid pick.
Yeah, Sully finished 5th last season, 2 podiums, 1 second place. Again, solid driver for GT4. It's going to be interesting to see what these guys can do in GT3. He's been with us just over a year now, so Sully knows how all this works. It'll be good to see that team kind of rounding itself out, especially with Sully and Larry racing against each other last season. Now being on the same team is going to be cool to see.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. So that puts Floody on the clock, and he's got to make a decision of pick his second car or pick a GTD driver.
I mean, right now, if it were me, it's GTD driver.
Mm-hmm.
because of what's left on the board for GTD. And I was wrong. Why do we do this? Like, there's no point to it at all because we suck. Floody picks the 10th spot of the car. 10th car pick goes to Floody. Oh my gosh.
I'm glad we do this.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad we do it as well. Chaotica is up next. Still missing 2 drivers. Has plenty of cars to go around. Does he pick a pro driver or GTD? I think he picks a pro driver here.
No, he's already filled his pro, hasn't he?
No,
No,
he's got
he hasn't.
Jim.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'll double check, but yeah, he's got Jim.
Okay, so yeah, this might be. I think Preston might go right here. That would be. I'd go ahead and grab Preston now.
I agree. I definitely agree. There's a lot of GTD drivers left, a lot of good GTD drivers left. So it's kind of like take a chance on they're still there when you come back around, and go ahead and grab your pro driver now.
Yep. There really must be something we're missing about the car. There must be some kind of car that everybody's going after. I don't know.
Well, it's not the Lambo. We removed that.
Right.
We know it's not the other car. That was also removed. I did that for Saito. So right here, Chaotic is getting down to the wire with the amount of time that he has left. Chaotic has been captain multiple different times, obviously been an admin for a long time. Very crucial to keep the league. Honestly, probably would not have progressed as well without him helping out. So it's always been a pleasure, but he does come off with a GTD Pro driver in Izzy.
Izzy, okay.
Yeah.
Good pick.
It's Bebop, right? I think it's
Bebop.
We'll just go Izzy. We'll keep it clean. So Izzy comes off the board.
Izzy took second today.
Have you raced much with Izzy?
I have not. But he took second today in the promotion relegation race.
Right.
So
yep. Yeah, he joined us in July of 2024. He is kind of new coming into it. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. He did well today, obviously. So it's interesting to see. So he did have 2 podiums in GT4. Maybe that's a good indicator of what he might be able to do in GTD Pro. I'm going to get this right at some point. It probably won't be today, though. It probably won't be today. But as we round out our 4th, and then we got our 5th round, we're going to bring on another guest here in a little bit. Not yet, but just want to keep that hook in you guys as you're watching, that there's going to be another guest to kind of wrap up our show. I think you'll enjoy as well. So we've had some heavy hitters. Again, loved Anatole coming on today. So the next pick for Coma Copa, and he goes with our friend, moderator, Saito from GTD.
Well done.
Yeah, so Coma rounds out his entire team of drivers, pro driver Rue, and then he's got Bongit and Saito rounding out his team. What do you think of that team, Merc?
I think that's a solid team. I think he's definitely prioritized drivers over cars, and I think he's picked some good ones.
Yeah, it'll be cool to see what Rue can do in that seat going into this season. It's always a challenge going from 4 to 3, and just with the caliber of drivers you're also against,
Right.
It's the GTD class. Sometimes there's multiple mistakes, things like that kind of allows you to kind of move through the field, whereas it's kind of minimized in the pro class, where those positions you would normally gain are not there as often.
Right. Right. So Berman is next up with a pick. He currently has one driver, Thrasher, and he's got two cars on his as his pick so far. So he's got two drivers to fill, one in each pro and just GTD. So I'm sticking with it. He's going to go with Preston. I think I'm surprised Preston is still on the list there.
Mm-hmm.
I would go ahead and take him.
Well, Merck, for the first time today, you are absolutely wrong. He goes, he goes with Layla for the GTD class. Berman picks Lalo for his next pick. Lalo's been with us a while as well. Last season, Lalo finished in, I have it right here, 8th place, mainly because he missed 2 races. I think he would have been positioned a lot higher had he not, because he took 2 podiums and then 2 right outside of podium. Lalo did. So Lalo's a good solid choice for GTD. Again, it's really going to be interesting to see how these guys do with the new car bank for this season. You know, he's been in a GT4 car since he joined with us in July of 2023. He's now jumping in a GT3 car. So let's see what these guys can handle. It's faster, tighter, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And with that pick, that moves us to Glovis. Glovis is on the clock. He's only picked one car so far, so he's got a car to pick and he's got a driver to pick.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, see, this is where I would think he's going to go Preston, because
he's going to go Preston. Yeah, they were teammates last season.
Right. He knows what to expect. He knows what he can do. And I mean, and if Glovis does pick the vet again, I mean, it's rinse and repeat.
Right.
It's like putting you in the AMG.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I think that's the play. You know, I still am thinking that Preston should be the next pick. I would have picked him already by now. So we're just waiting for them on the clock to see what they turn. As soon as we kind of get through this round, it's going to really start speeding up. The picks are going to come through. In some cases, they're already going to be predetermined because they filled out either a car or filled out driver. So it's really getting ready to speed up quite quickly here.
Yep. While we wait, do you have any cars in mind? You don't have to, you know, go too crazy way, because ultimately,
with the bank opening up, there's a lot of good ones. There's always been, you know, the Porsche is good, is a good car. It did well today in first 3 positions with the promotion relegation race. So I don't really have a preference car per se, but I tend to prefer FR cars as opposed to MR cars. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, a car we haven't seen in a while is the Mustang. I have not seen that in several seasons.
Right. No, we haven't. And actually, it's why I selected it for the Christmas race, because I haven't been in it in a long time. The Christmas race means nothing. I'm not going to test it or anything. I'm just going to jump in it and go and just be excited about it, because, like you said, it's nobody's touched it in a long time.
Right.
All right. So Gloves picks in. He comes off the board with the 11th car selection slot for Glovis.
Okay. All right. That only leaves 3 car picks on the table. Next up is Zen. Zen has.
I think Zen goes car here.
He goes car here. Yeah.
Well, honestly, for his perspective, here's the thing: he has 1 car selected.
He has 1.
Yeah.
So he's got 1 car, and he's got 1 GTD.
Here's the other thing: like, Huge Jar is still on the board, who did great 2 seasons ago. You know?
He did.
Had some scheduling this last season, so that's to be expected. But Huge Jar still being on the board is a huge deal to have Huge Jar still on the board. And here we go again with our accuracy for what we do on today's podcast, with Zen going with the 12th pick of a car.
So
we suck.
Nismo is now up. He could pick. Nismo has not picked two cars. Has no? He's only got one. So Nispo has another car to fill out as well as a GTD driver. He's basically on the same strategy as Zen. So I would still prioritize drivers at this point.
Ooh, I like this pick. Oh, I'm excited about this. I'm so excited about this. Curious Guy just went Team Nismo, not the last pick of the draft, not Mr. Irrelevant. That is amazing. That is
Well
amazing.
done. Well done.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. So, no spoilers. Let's create some excitement. We are going to get Curious Guy on a podcast next season. I've already talked to him about it. He's itching, ready to go. He's excited for it too. It may be our first podcast in person besides the one that we did for Lemons. So we may try to coordinate that where we can be in person and do that. I think that'd be the way to go.
Yeah.
So
Curious Guy has raced several seasons with us, and he has improved drastically over the seasons and moves periodically up the field and so that's a solid pick for GTD.
Well, he's as OG as it gets besides, Thrasher. Like, he came on with us in April of 2022. He's raced in every single league except for some of the newer ones here recently, but he used to run Sunday Cup all the time, regardless of GT3, GT4, he's done it.
Yep.
He definitely has done it. So I'm good. I'm happy to see him come off the board. That's a very solid team to its own right too, because again, Curious Guy may not put up all the top points, but he's there every single week without question. He shows up, and he reminds you to change your oil.
That's right. He reminds you to change your oil and wash your car.
And spade and neuter your pets.
So next up is Floody. Floody's got his last pick, right? Yes, he's got two cars, he's got two drivers. So he is making a pick for a GTD driver.
Yep.
That is, where's he going to pick?
Yep, saw that coming. Huge jar.
Huge jar.
Huge jar comes off the board.
That's a solid pick.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that rounds out Team Floody. Team Floody is Camzilla in GTD Pro with Floody in GTD Pro, T Deeds and Huge Jar as GTD, and they will be picking the first car selection and the 10th car selection. So I wager my bet that their first pick is going to be for the car is going to be the Viper.
Yeah,
I believe
I kind of expect it too. I think just we've put Floody's feet to the fire for so long and heard him talk smack about the Viper that I feel like he's obligated himself to draft that car. It's going to be unfortunate if he doesn't do well in the Viper.
Well, I don't think the Viper is ever, and correct me if I'm wrong, has the Viper ever competed in GT? It has.
Thrasher, one of the first seasons. That was before we had the full GT World season, but Thrasher was in the Viper in one of our earlier seasons. It was when Zen was in the Aston, Chaotica was in the Jag. You, I believe, were in the Vet. I was in the Mustang. It was that season.
Yep, that was the first season, very first season. It
GT
hasn't been drafted since.
No, it has not been. Just like the Mustang, that was the first and last time for those two vehicles.
Right. So next up is Chaotica. Chaotica has two cars picked. He has two drivers picked. So his final pick is going to be a driver for GTD.
I mean, I did just message the admin team just to remind Chaotica he cannot pick another car. So hopefully he doesn't attempt it. I specifically said Chaotica knows he has to pick a driver, right?
Right.
Oh God.
These guys are
Not
taking
some of
their
these-
time with the picks. I tell you, they're usually they're like one after another picking. These guys are taking their time and really considering what they're picking right now.
Uh, the message I just got was Katika picks another car. You know what? We'll put him in the yeah, we'll put him in something slow. We'll put him in the Fiat.
In the brick,
Huh?
the brick,
Yeah,
the
we'll put him in
Nissan.
the brick. Yeah, good luck with that car. Never touching that car again. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, it's usually crazy because when we tail off to the end of these things, like you're saying, usually it's car, 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 car. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers left and only 2 cars left.
Yeah.
So he takes new driver, Mr. Ozzy, who we don't have a lot of experience with in the league whatsoever. He came in March of, did he come in March of 2023 and kind of just hang out, I think. And then just now, just qualified, came in as GT4. So he's going to be in that GTD class with the GR3 cars.
Talking about the podcast is going to be difficult for his team because they got Ozzy and Izzy. Ozzy.
Ooh, that's going to make it. Oh yeah, because we're so good at getting this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to make us all sorts of bent up out of shape. Coma for his next pick, he picks the 13th slot for his car. We kind of anticipated that because that was his only decision to make.
So that puts it to Berman. Berman does have a driver slot open for GTD. So
yeah, so we got 2 more pro drivers left. We got Don't Need Time, and we have Mr. Preston left.
Mm-hmm.
So does Zanchin go with someone he knows who's been around the league for a while with Preston, or does he go with a newcomer, Don't Need Time? And he goes with a seasoned veteran in Preston for his pro driver. So I think he's going to be very pleasantly surprised with the caliber of driver he gets out of Preston.
I agree.
For sure. I think that's going to be very good for that team. So
that puts it to Glovis.
Yeah, that puts it to Glovis right now. I mean, we can go ahead and fill this in. It's Don't Need Time. It's the only driver left out of that class. Who's done really well with the PR racing, so he's kind of shown up for that.
Yeah.
And then GTD wise, they just slammed me with everything. So Nismo, we take that. And then the GTD driver for Zen is Billy Bob.
Billy Bob.
Billy Bob. So that rounds us out. Because we're rounding out, we are going to bring in our next guest to kind of just talk about how everything went down. I would like to introduce a moderator of ours. We are bringing in our friend Saito to the podcast today. Mr. Saito,
welcome.
Pop your monitor on, Mr. Saito. At some point, we'll get it going here. Mr. Saito, what's up?
What's up?
How's it going, guys?
Oh, we're good, man. We're good. Welcome back to the podcast. He's been on here before. He helped us in the last live stream podcast Saito did because Mercury could not attend because he was actually doing stuff for that race. He can't multitask well. So Saito, welcome back to the podcast / live stream.
It's great to be back. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So I just dropped in the chat on Discord the entire layout. I don't know if you were paying attention to it or not, but
There we go.
what team stands out to you as being a top contender for this season?
Let's go Nismo, baby.
Oh yeah, you're a little biased in that whatsoever. But you're not on Team Nismo. You're technically on Team Comacopa, or I'm really confused. Are you on Team Nismo or Comacopa? Which one is it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So
yes.
Mercury hasn't figured it out yet, so we're going to go ahead and enlighten him. Mercury, meet Sully. This is Sully, not Saito.
I noticed the
everybody.
name. I saw it. Yes,
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. I've met Saito before, and I was like, this
Yeah.
is not it.
No, everyone gets us confused, partially because every other season we have been on the same team, and this actually breaks that streak. I'm very excited because when we're not on the same team, I beat him. So thanks, Nismo. I'm looking forward to beating Saito again.
Yeah, no, and you haven't been on a team with Larry before either, right?
No, last season was his first season,
Yeah,
I believe, with the World Challenge. That's really all I've done with it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
actually no, I did do one make, but you know, not too much time in my hands.
yeah. It's going to be a good season. Nismo is the top driver. Like you've seen it,
Yeah.
and so to him to be able to kind of like help teach some of you guys a little bit of the intricacies that he knows, because I've struggled with staying on board with Nismo, and sometimes I may win a race and he'd snatch his fastest lap almost every single time. He is a fast driver.
Yeah.
So anything you guys can pick up from him is going to be extremely beneficial to you and your team. So that's amazing.
And all other seriousness, though, like Gloves' team is pretty stacked as well.
Mhm.
Like, especially with those GTD drivers, like those guys, I think, are gonna be in the top five the entire time.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be tough. Especially Gloves has a pretty good card draft pick, so they'll kind of get their pick of the litter to a degree. Let's see,
So
Deeds and Jar. Oh my goodness, I just noticed Deeds and Jar on Flooding Cam too. Oh God,
yeah,
that's gonna be tough. Really.
it's really it's every single season. The Anatole was talking about this earlier, that the gap between drivers is really starting to shrink year after year after year, season after season, and we're starting to see that it's sometimes maybe not be down to the driver, it is down to the car, that takes some of the points away. It's definitely interesting to see because we were completely wrong when it came down to the car draft today altogether. We were
And
Yeah.
also, as has been brought up several times today, just showing up too, right? Like
Mhm,
those zeros really hurt you.
mhm.
And so one reason why I say we're going to do pretty good is Sky and I are both the top two people to show up in all of GT4 ever. I've
Yeah,
missed one race ever. I think Sky missed two ever.
yeah.
So just that consistency is really going to help us bring on some points.
Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely, man. So it's good to see. Glad you're on here. So what were your initial thoughts when we said, "Hey, you guys are no longer driving in a GT4 car. You are now in a GT3 car."
Crap. I I'm actually someone that never does sport mode, so I have maybe a total of 50 laps in GR3 cars, like in my year and a half of playing the game. This is going to be an adjustment for me.
Mhm.
Sorry, Nismo, this is going to be a little rough. I was just getting comfortable in the GR4 cars. All the previous seasons, I had eighth finish, 10th finish, and so we'll see how this one goes. I don't think I'm going to repeat my top five this season, especially if Jar and Lalo can be more consistent. Honestly, though, missing how many they
Mhm.
did this past season really propelled me higher than I should have been because they're fast,
Yeah,
they're inconsistent. So
yeah. It's going to definitely be interesting to see. So while we have you on here, we are going to drop the track list. Bad Rock, if you will kick that off for us, um, and we will go ahead and announce this. So first and foremost, Merc, do you have this up? Do you want to announce the cars or the tracks? No.
No, you've got the
Okay.
I can't see it.
All right. Well, here's the thing. Without you looking at the track list, you tell us what the first track is.
I know the first race is going to be at Daytona.
There we go.
Always is at Daytona.
It is. Yeah. Every year at the beginning of the year, Merc gets his race. The Daytona Road Course starting off January 12th. This will be the same 24-hour cycle that we've done in the past with light, dark to light, which will be fun because Daytona is gorgeous at night, because it hides all of the discrepancies of the city. Our next race is going to be at Watkins Glen the week after that, 2 weeks after that. That's going to be an afternoon race. We really went with like an all-star list of races and cars for this season. We wanted to really come back to our roots. So Watkins Glen, which is usually a favorite of everyone's, Our next track after that is coming back to Laguna Seca, so we're heading west, which will be fun. That's going to be an afternoon track, so you get a nice sunset when we get through Laguna Seca. After that, we head to Suzuka. So this was a finale of ours a couple seasons ago. Suzuka is a tight racing course, great on tire wear. And that's going to be at sunrise. We head over to St. Croix A, which will be a new track for us. I think we raced St. Croix B last time, so this is going to be the A variation of that. Then we head to everyone's favorite, who Merck got to race on yesterday, is Spa. That'll be at sunset, which is always a top track for a lot of people, except for me, because I never get to race it because always something pops up. That might be St. Patty's Day weekend. We'll see. I probably might miss that one as well. We do horrible with the schedules. And then the last one is Catalunya, no chicane as the finale. It used to not be a favorite track of mine, but when we raced it last time, it does create very good racing. So I've come to respect Catalunya. I like Catalunya now, and I think it rounds out the season rather well for the finale. So Sully, formerly known as Saito, any tracks stand out to you on this one as ones that you really enjoy and want to come back to?
So before I joined the league, I'd only practiced with Saito, and one of his favorite tracks is Suzuka, so I'm actually fairly familiar with that one. Uh, I'm actually excited to get back on Watkins Glen to see how I actually compete with that, because that was my first race in Deviant League. I had 2 days to practice for that after getting drafted by Victor off the reserve list. So I'm kind of excited to actually see what I can actually do now that I know kind of what I'm doing. But in Spa, I actually did pretty decent at Spa that same season as well. I'm really excited for that one too. Like these are some great tracks. Uh, and Junkai, I think you'll St. Patty's Day weekend should be the following weekend, the 16th, 15th, 16th. So
No,
you
so
should be,
before that
yeah,
weekend.
you should be good.
Okay.
Fingers
Well,
crossed. We'll see what happens.
it's not so much the St. Patty's Day I'm worried about. It's the Beer Fest schedule and where
Oh
it
yeah, no.
in
I,
Atlanta.
I'm
So
yeah, I'm from coastal Georgia, the Savannah area. It's the month, right? Down there in the low country. That's all
exactly.
you get. So
Suwannee Beer Fest every single year comes up around my birthday. I go every
yeah.
time, and yeah, so it is what it is. Merck, what do you think? Besides Daytona, which we all know you love and adore, blah blah blah, what track are you excited to get back on? Besides,
Watkins and Laguna are just two excellent GT tracks. They are, I love both of those. Laguna Seca we've run many, many times, but Watkins Glen as well. That is a fast track, does test out different cars differently. Some have advantages more than others, but both of those are going to be solid picks. The first three races are solid GT tracks.
yeah, yeah. For me, I agree. I definitely want to get on Spa, and I think Laguna. I'm not a huge fan of Suzuka. Just never have been. It flows well. I know it's got its variations as far as it's great for tire wear and everything. But honestly, for me, I really like Laguna, and I just want to be able to compete at Spa. It just hasn't happened. So I'm hoping to be able to make that race, make it happen. So definitely excited to see all this. Just for everybody to know, the tire and fuel mapping from last season is going to carry over to this season. That is not changing, so you can go ahead and test with what you know today. You know the courses that have been selected, so good luck. We will have the date on which you will select your cars at another time, because I don't know it off the top of my head. So there it is. So besides that, the only other thing we have to show you is the safety car. The safety car. Go ahead, Merck. Tell us what car you selected for that.
So we've gone back to, after driving the Charger, or Charger, which weighs about 4 metric tons or something. It's just a horrible car to drive. We've gone back to a better, more performance-oriented car, which is going to be the Mercedes AMG. So I know, Junkai, you don't like the lights on top of it, but it's a much more stable, better safety car. It is a safer safety car, and it does not have all the bright colors on it this time. We have gone subdued, much more professional, a little more tasteful. There is no reminder on the back about 60 to 70 miles per hour or 100 kilometers an hour. So we expect everybody to remember that as we've done this several series.
Well, we'll add it if we need to.
will put slow down.
So, yeah. Well, besides that, I mean, I think this pretty much wraps it up. What I would like to kind of wrap up with is the three of us select your team that you think is going to win. And it can't be the team that you're on. Okay. So I'll give you two of you a moment just because you are on a team. I am coming into this unbiased. And for me, going into next season, just based on skimming what is here, I would typically say Chaotica because of his car bank, but no, I'm not doing that because he has too many cars. I'm going Glovis for this next season, just with his caliber of GTD drivers. I think is going to be very hard to overcome. And then what he can do in GTD Pro. And then on top of that, Don't Need Time has really done well in these PR races. And I think he's got something in him that we may just not know yet. So I'm putting my pin on Glovis.
Yeah, I would go either Glovis or Floody. I would go with Glovis if he definitely, if he could get a hold of the vet, if he drives that again, he's got a huge advantage. But he didn't pick a car until round the 8th pick of the cars, so there's a significant good chance that he may not get the Corvette this time. Floody also has a stacked team as well with Huge Jar and Camzilla, so I think those guys definitely have a shot as well.
Yeah, I'm torn between the same two teams, and I might just go with Floody just because I think he's got the better car picks, and so I think he might be able to sneak something out right under from Glovis, especially for the GTD car.
Yeah. We shall see. As it's been as obvious as possible today, none of us know really what we're talking about, so probably none of it's going to come true anyway. So for everyone we didn't talk to, name, you'll probably end up winning. So good job. Glovis is like, damn it, he picked me. That's going to damn me forever. So, well, Sully, we appreciate you hopping on today. We thank you. We thank everyone for the amount of effort that goes into this behind the scenes with our admin team. Bad Rock, if you want to pop your screen up, say hello. We appreciate Bad Rock sticking out with us on a Sunday when he could be doing other things and helping us out here. But between Saito and Cam, Chaotica, Glovis, Sully, you included, all those guys behind the scenes, Zen doing the commentating, and then just the amount of effort that goes through the PR race and then jumping over to this, Anatole Preston jumping on. It's just a huge coming together to make this work. So we thank everybody involved. I really expect the Bad Rock's face to pop up, and we haven't seen it yet, so I hope he's still with us. We may not even be streaming right now. Who knows?
He's going to go make a sandwich.
He's like, guys, I had to go. I was hungry. So without further, I'm good. Sully, you got anything for us you want to leave us with?
I think I'm good. I appreciate a more stable safety car. That was a pain last season. So looking forward to driving the AMG as a gold member out there for us.
There you go. Well, we appreciate you. Congratulations on the mod spot. Love to see what comes out of that. And Merc, as always, I'll see you next weekend. So
see you guys. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching the promotion relegation race with Zen. And yes, we will see you. There may be some more podcasts coming between now and season. Maybe not. We'll see if we may slip one in there if there's a surprise or something that happens. But stay tuned, and we will see you next time, guys.
good luck.
Bye.